Okay, let's just jump right in. What if your whole city went dark? I'm talking no lights, no internet, no power for 18 hours straight. Today, we're going to break down a massive blackout in Europe that's actually a huge warning sign for our own power grid right here at home. So let's set the scene. We're in Barcelona. It's a beautiful spring day. You know the vibe. Kids are in school, people are out grabbing lunch, tourists are everywhere. It is, for all intents and purposes, a totally, completely normal Monday afternoon. And then, at exactly 12:33 p.m., boom, everything just stopped. The lights went out, trains literally froze on the tracks, traffic signals went dark, causing chaos, and this wasn't just a small outage. It plunged the entire Iberian Peninsula, that's Spain, Portugal, even parts of France, into total darkness. Now, for some people, the power came back on within a few hours. But for many others, especially in parts of Barcelona, they were left completely without electricity for nearly 18 hours. Imagine that. An entire day completely cut off. So what on earth happened? It wasn't a cyber attack. It wasn't sabotage. The real culprit is a fascinating concept called a cascade failure. It's basically a chain reaction that explains how a modern, advanced European nation could just switch off. At its heart, a cascade failure is pretty much what it sounds like. It's when one small, tiny problem in a super complex system, like an electrical grid, doesn't stay small. Instead, it triggers another failure, which triggers another and another, creating this massive, unstoppable wave of collapse. The best way to think about the power grid is like a massive line of dominoes, but stretches across an entire country. All it takes is one tiny push, a single small voltage spike, and the whole line just comes crashing down, way faster than any human or computer has a chance to react. So what was that first domino to fall in Barcelona? Well, investigators gave this official, very scientific-sounding reason, an induced atmospheric vibration. I mean, come on, that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But let's translate that from science speak into plain English. Basically, it was a weather event. Extreme, uneven heat in the air created these powerful, invisible pressure waves. And these waves were actually strong enough to physically and electrically mess with the high-voltage power lines. That was the tiny push that toppled the first domino. Now, it's really easy to look at this and think, wow, that's a crazy one-off European problem. But it's not. What happened in Barcelona is actually a preview of what we can expect to see right here in the United States. And here's why. We are dealing with a huge conflict. On one side, we have an aging power grid. It's centralized, it's fragile, and we're just not updating it fast enough. On the other side, our demand for electricity is absolutely skyrocketing. More homes, huge data centers, millions of electric vehicles all plugging in. The system is being stretched to its breaking point. And we're already seeing the cracks. This is not theoretical stuff. Remember the Texas winter freeze in 2021? Millions lost power for days. Or the constant rolling blackouts in California during heat waves. Even the power flickering across the Northeast because of wildfire smoke. These are all symptoms of a grid that is under serious stress. These events aren't just isolated incidents. They're clear as day warnings. They're showing us again and again that the way we get our power is vulnerable, and it's getting more vulnerable every single year. Okay, but this whole thing isn't about doom and gloom, seriously. Just like you'd prepare for a hurricane, we can prepare for what some are calling the new energy storm. And the really good news is that technology gives us a way to get ready right now. And you know, this idea of energy independence is not new at all. In fact, way back in the 70s, President Carter put solar panels on the White House and set this big national goal: get 20% of our energy from renewables by the year 2020. That plan kind of faded away, but the goal itself remained as important as ever. So, here we are more than 40 years later. Where do we stand? Well, we did finally pass that 20% renewable mark. But take a closer look. Solar energy, one of the easiest ways for individuals to generate their own power, makes up just under 4% of our total energy production. We've still got a long, long way to go. But here's the really interesting part. While it took us decades as a country to hit those big renewable goals, the technology for individual homes has moved at an incredible speed. Today, you can get a full solar and battery backup system installed on your house in a single day. And think about what that really means when the grid fails.
It means you're not sitting in the dark waiting for the utility company to fix things. You're not making that panicked run to find a generator. You're not stressing about all the food in your fridge spoiling or crucial medicines going bad. You just have quiet, clean, uninterrupted power coming right from your own roof.
So, when you boil it all down, the real lesson from Barcelona isn't just about the fear of the next blackout. It's about the opportunity for something way more powerful: freedom. It's about the freedom you get from controlling your own power, the freedom from having to worry about outages, from being dependent on a fragile system. It's about the freedom that gives you and your family real, genuine peace of mind. So yeah, the blackout in Barcelona wasn't just some news story from far away. It was a preview. It was a clear signal of the vulnerabilities that are baked into our own system. The real question is, what are we going to do with that warning?